Nvidia, the American company that builds the most advanced and popular microchips.
This is the chip that's inside.
For nearly 30 years, Nvidia's chips have been coveted.
Welcome back. We turn to tech now, where internet giant Alibaba on Wednesday released its first self-developed chip.
In a shocking twist that threatens the USA's tech throne, China's newly unveiled Hanguang 800 chip has ignited a fierce semiconductor race.
This year's big event, the release of the Hanguang 800, which claims to be the fastest AI chip on the market.
Developed by Alibaba, this AI powerhouse boasts 256 trillion calculations per second, surpassing global expectations and forcing industry giants like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia into overdrive. Is China on track to dethrone America's long-standing semiconductor dominance? Don't blink. This riveting tech war is just beginning, with the future of innovation hanging in the balance. Get ready for more surprises. Launch of the Hanguang 800 chip. The launch of the Hanguang 800 chip signals a major milestone in the global semiconductor arena. Built by Alibaba, it can handle 256 trillion calculations per second, giving China a powerful edge in high-performance computing. This breakthrough has sparked an intense rivalry with American giants like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia. With this chip, China showcases its commitment to cutting-edge semiconductor research, leveraging 3D stacking technology to boost performance and reduce power consumption. The Hanguang 800 excels at tasks like image processing and deep neural network computations.
Now, this chip is expected to be used in visual recognition systems,
slashing run times from an hour to mere minutes. American leaders, on the other hand, are rushing to defend their market share, accelerating product launches and funding new projects. This shift threatens to reshape global tech strategies as companies scramble for a competitive advantage. The Hanguang 800 also highlights China's broader aim to become self-reliant in semiconductors, reducing its dependence on foreign suppliers. Initiatives like the Big Fund are pumping billions into local producers to fortify domestic production. Meanwhile, the U.S. is responding with programs like the Chips for America Act.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong opposition to S2228, the so-called Building Chips in America Act,
hoping to secure supply chains and protect critical industries. Intel's Meteor Lake CPUs and AMD's Zen 5 architecture are examples of how American firms plan to stay on top, showcasing a heated race. Beyond pure speed, the Hanguang 800 offers a glimpse of how AI and big data will evolve. Its architecture optimizes deep learning, powering advanced analytics and improving areas like healthcare, finance, and cybersecurity. By compressing processing times, it enables real-time insights and more accurate predictions. These gains suggest an upcoming wave of applications that could alter everyday life, adding smarter devices, personalized services, and a more interconnected digital ecosystem. As innovation snowballs, competition will intensify, pushing every player to adapt. Also noteworthy is how this chip underscores China's path to leadership. While older processes from SMIC and GigaDevice secure large portions of the supply chain, Hanguang 800 shows that China excels at high-end innovation too. This achievement prompts policymakers worldwide to address the shifting balance of power in technology. It raises questions about reliance on foreign parts, fueling moves toward self-sufficiency and alliances. As we watch these changes, one thing is clear: the semiconductor stage has never been more turbulent. Overall, the Hanguang 800 launch marks a transformative shift in computing, truly compelling nations and businesses to evolve rapidly. It represents not just a technical victory for China, but a challenge that will redefine how countries compete in the semiconductor space for years to come. Increased global tech rivalry. China's recent unveiling of the Hanguang 800 chip has added a new spark to the ongoing tech showdown between China and the United States. Developed by Alibaba, this chip can handle 256 trillion calculations per second. That huge number has pushed big American names such as Intel, Nvidia, and AMD to rethink their long-term product roadmaps and strategic aims. At its core, this rivalry is about which country can lead the future of technology and global supremacy. China's major firms are investing heavily in semiconductor research, eager to reduce reliance on foreign parts. Meanwhile, the United States is relying on established players like Intel and Nvidia, as well as innovative newcomers, to maintain its hold over chip innovation. Much of this drama began when Nvidia announced a powerful new product, only to see China's Hanguang 800 gain worldwide attention. While Nvidia remains a leader in graphics and AI solutions,
only 4 companies in the world are worth more than $2 trillion: Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, parent company of Google, and computer chip maker Nvidia.
Alibaba's breakthrough chip signals that China is serious about expanding its influence. Observers wonder if the United States can keep its long-standing position at the forefront of technology. This surge in competition has prompted both nations to invest more in research and development. China's Big Fund focuses on local production, while the United States launched the Chips for America Act to bolster its own manufacturing. Experts see this as a high-stakes race to build faster, cheaper, and more eco-friendly chips that will power next-generation solutions and services. Semiconductor rivalry is not just about speed and raw power. It also has real effects on daily life, from smarter home devices to upgraded security systems. The Hanguang 800's high efficiency points toward a future where AI, big data, and machine learning become even more advanced. As both countries drive progress, businesses and consumers alike stand to gain immensely. Still, obstacles remain. Regulations, export limits, and intellectual property disputes create hurdles for each side. The United States wants to slow China's ascent, while China aims to secure chip independence and challenge American supremacy. As high-level talks continue, many anticipate breakthroughs in eco-friendly processes and stronger global partnerships, driven by the desire to outpace the competition and lead tomorrow. In the end, the launch of the Hanguang 800 chip has triggered a global tech standoff with far-reaching effects. As China proves its dedication to semiconductor growth, the United States looks to defend its leadership through fresh innovations and alliances. This clash of giants will shape new industries, guide economic strategies, and decide which nation wears the tech crown for decades. China's semiconductor strategy. China's semiconductor strategy has become a major focus in the global tech landscape.
The state-run Hefei High-Tech Zone assembles and incubates companies focusing on hotly contested emerging areas.
The country is investing large amounts of money to develop new chips and reduce its dependence on foreign companies. This push aims to strengthen local players like SMIC and GigaDevice, which produce essential components for phones, vehicles, and everyday tech. China not only focuses on the most advanced chip designs, like the Hanguang 800, but also on older, widely used technologies that power much of the modern world. By improving both cutting-edge and traditional chips, China hopes to become a leading force in the semiconductor industry. One key part of this strategy is the Big Fund, which has committed over $150 billion to help local companies advance their research, build better factories, and train skilled experts. This heavy investment is already showing effects. SMIC, a top chip manufacturer in China, works on process nodes like 28 nanometer and 65 nanometer technology. Although these processes are not as advanced as the leading 5 nanometer or 3 nanometer nodes, they still serve many devices around the world. Meanwhile, GigaDevice focuses on memory chips, ensuring a stable supply of NOR flash and DRAM for phones and other products. Alibaba has also made waves by unveiling the Hanguang 800 chip, which can handle 256 trillion calculations per second. This achievement surprised many industry watchers, signaling that Chinese companies can produce high-performance chips. The Hanguang 800 uses 3D stacking technology, packing more transistors into smaller spaces while using less energy. Such progress not only strengthens Alibaba's leadership in cloud computing, but also helps China gain ground in artificial intelligence and big data. Faster image processing, quicker machine learning, and more efficient analytics are just a few benefits tied to China's steady technological climb in semiconductors. China's semiconductor strategy does not stop at making chips. The country is building entire supply chains, from manufacturing equipment to software tools. By nurturing local partners and boosting their abilities, China aims to reduce its dependence on foreign markets. While the United States responds with laws like the Chips for America Act, China keeps increasing funds for research, stepping up collaboration between government and big tech firms. Despite challenges like export restrictions, patent conflicts, and questions about quality control, China's determination to shape the global semiconductor market grows stronger each year. As China refines its semiconductor plans, training experts becomes vital. By building talent at universities and research centers, China aims for success in chip innovation. This balanced approach supports China's long-term goal of global semiconductor leadership. Impact on AI and big data. China's new Hanguang 800 chip has shaken the world of AI and big data by bringing new levels of speed and efficiency. With the ability to do up to 256 trillion calculations each second, it has triggered big changes in how we handle tasks like image recognition and real-time data processing. Many experts believe that this chip, developed by Alibaba, sets a new benchmark, leaving competitors like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia to scramble to keep up. One major plus of the Hanguang 800 is how it handles complex math involved in AI tasks. Instead of taking an hour for certain workloads, it can complete them in just minutes. This opens the door for more advanced use cases in fields ranging from healthcare to security and finance. For instance, medical teams can use faster image analysis to catch diseases earlier.
Chip could help promote the cloud technology, big data, and AI technology. We also hope it can promote the digital economy.
While financial firms can make quicker predictions about market trends. In big data, the focus is on handling massive volumes of structured and unstructured information. The Hanguang 800 is built to speed up these processes, letting companies run large-scale analytics jobs in less time. This efficiency not only leads to cost savings, but it also sparks new ideas in areas like machine learning, where models need huge data sets for training. Moreover, the chip's design uses 3D stacking to cram more transistors into smaller spaces, reducing energy consumption while boosting performance. This is critical at a time when data centers are growing and electricity demands are high. By saving energy, businesses can lower their costs and carbon footprints. The global rivalry is also important. With China now a serious contender in advanced chip technology, the US is launching new initiatives, such as the Chips for America Act, to stay ahead. While Intel and AMD remain leaders in the market, new chips like the Hanguang 800 add fresh competition and push everyone to innovate faster. Collaboration is another theme. AI and big data require an entire chain of hardware, software, and talented experts to make them work. As more businesses see the value of AI-driven insights, we can expect partnerships between cloud providers, chip makers, and research groups. This synergy fosters more breakthroughs, leading to smarter applications and services. In the end, the Hanguang 800's arrival signals a turning point for AI and big data, both in China and around the globe. By raising the bar for speed and efficiency, it forces other players to keep improving. The Hanguang 800 is changing how we approach AI and data. Global supply chain and strategic shifts. Global supply chains have been shaken by the arrival of China's Hanguang 800 chip, marking a new turning point in the semiconductor industry. Developed by Alibaba, this powerful device can handle 256 trillion calculations per second, challenging big names like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia to rethink their strategies. As competition heats up, countries must secure reliable sources of chips.
They take all of their work, they put it into one chip. That chip comes back into a massive system,
leading to major shifts in production and investment. The United States, for example, has introduced the Chips for America Act to boost local manufacturing, while China doubles down on its own semiconductor ambitions with massive funding and policies. This push for independence is changing trade routes and supplier relationships, forcing companies worldwide to rethink their operational models. Firms now look at diversifying their supply chains, building multiple partnerships, and creating backup plans to withstand sudden interruptions. By spreading production across different regions, they can minimize risks like political tensions, natural disasters, or export restrictions. At the same time, nations are investing heavily in research and development to fuel domestic innovation, aiming to catch up or stay ahead of rivals. These changes are not just about technology, but also reflect broader economic and strategic concerns, with governments supporting local champions to secure their future. For instance, China's Hanguang 800 demonstrates how a homegrown chip can shift competitive dynamics, prompting overseas manufacturers to accelerate product rollouts. This leads to larger discussions about patent rights, intellectual property protection, and the balance of power between developing and established markets. Scarcity of high-end manufacturing tools further complicates the situation, as some countries rely on specialized equipment produced by only a few suppliers. If these tools are restricted, it can limit production capacity and stall any ambitions to dominate the chip market. In this fast-changing climate, partnerships become more attractive, letting nations pool resources and share risks to keep pace with global demand. Yet, these alliances can also spark tensions, as countries grapple with issues like data security, trade secrets, and strategic interests. Meanwhile, as companies push to match or beat the Hanguang 800, they explore new materials, chip designs, and production methods to gain an edge. Smaller node sizes and 3D stacking become vital, promising better performance with less power usage, key factors for handling big data and AI. The outcome is a rapidly evolving supply chain where flexibility, innovation, and resilience define success. In the end, the Hanguang 800 has not only sparked fierce global competition, but also sparked rethinking of how countries secure and develop semiconductor supplies for the future. Ethical and environmental considerations. One of the biggest challenges in today's technology race is balancing performance with ethical and environmental responsibility. As China quickly expands its semiconductor industry, driven by chips like the Hanguang 800, concerns about pollution, waste, and resource usage are rising. Manufacturing methods require large amounts of energy and water while generating toxic byproducts. China is aware of these effects and is moving toward greener approaches, such as eco-friendly plants and low-energy designs. This shift may safeguard both nature and long-term industrial health. But going green is not the only concern. The rapid growth of AI raises ethical issues too. Chips now handle enormous data sets, sparking worries about privacy and surveillance. Developers and governments must treat user data responsibly, or risk creating systems that infringe on basic rights. They must also weigh possible job losses as automation grows. Another key topic is fairness. Advanced AI can influence decisions in healthcare, finance, and law enforcement. If algorithms carry hidden bias, entire communities could suffer. To prevent harm, careful oversight and collaborative rulemaking are needed, ensuring that AI remains a tool for positive change. Finally, all nations share the duty of keeping chip development earth-friendly. Semiconductor plants consume energy and produce waste, so adopting cleaner materials and recycling systems is key. By working together, countries can set common standards and share green solutions. This approach not only protects people and the planet, but it also cuts costs and boosts trust among partners. In the grand pursuit of technology, ethics and the environment must not be overlooked. China's experience with eco-friendly methods provides a glimpse of what's possible.
The Chinese president is setting an example when it comes to environmental protection.
If rival nations unite behind these principles, we can enjoy advanced innovations like the Hanguang 800 without sacrificing our well-being or the Earth's fragile balance. In this way, technological progress remains a force for good, promoting prosperity while preserving our world. Muhammad was born around the year 570 CE in a city called Mecca, in what is now Saudi Arabia. His family belonged to a respected tribe called the Quraysh. Muhammad's father died before he was born, and his mother died when he was very young. He was raised by his grandfather and later by his uncle. Growing up, Muhammad became known as a very honest and trustworthy man. People in Mecca called him Al-Amin, which means the trustworthy one. Mecca, at the time, was a city full of people who worshipped many gods. They believed in idols, which were statues of gods that they placed in a holy building called the Kaaba. The Kaaba was a very important place for the people in Mecca. They would travel from far away to worship their gods there.
Muhammad's message. The Kaaba belongs to me and Muslims and Islam.
But not everyone was happy about this way of life. Some people felt that worshiping idols was wrong and that there was only one God. Muhammad was one of these people. Muhammad often liked to spend time alone, away from the noise and activities of the city. He would go to a cave called Hira, located on a mountain near Mecca. In this quiet cave, Muhammad would think deeply and pray. It was during one of these visits to the cave, when Muhammad was about 40 years old, that something very important happened. One night, while Muhammad was in the cave, an angel appeared to him. The angel's name was Gabriel, which is Jibrail in Arabic. Muslims believe that this angel was sent by Allah. Angel Gabriel gave Muhammad the first words of what would later become the Quran. The angel told Muhammad to read. Muhammad, who could not read or write, was confused. He said, "I cannot read." The angel repeated the command and then gave him the words to recite. These words were the first revelation of the Quran. Muhammad was very shaken by this experience. He returned home to his wife Khadija and told her what had happened. Khadija comforted him and encouraged him. She believed that Muhammad had been chosen for something very special. Soon after, more revelations began to come. Over the next 23 years, Muhammad continued to receive messages from Allah through Angel Gabriel. These messages were given to him in pieces, little by little. Each time, Muhammad would memorize the words, and so would his followers. This is how the Quran was revealed. At first, Muhammad shared these messages with only a few close friends and family members. Slowly, more people began to believe in his message. Muhammad taught that there was only one God, Allah, and that people should stop worshiping idols.
We believe, as monotheists, that there is only one God.
He also taught about kindness, justice, and helping others. He said that people should pray, give to the poor, and live good, honest lives. But not everyone liked Muhammad's message. Many leaders in Mecca were angry. They did not want to stop worshiping idols because it was part of their traditions and made them powerful. They also made a lot of money from people who visited Mecca to worship these idols. As more people became followers of Muhammad, the leaders of Mecca began to threaten him and his followers. They made life very difficult for the Muslims. After many years of facing challenges, Muhammad and his followers left Mecca and moved to another city called Medina. This event is known as the Hijra, which means migration. In Medina, the Muslim community grew stronger. Muhammad continued to receive revelations, and more people became Muslims. These revelations covered many topics like worship, family life, laws, and the importance of faith. Muslims believe that the Quran is a guide for how they should live their lives. After several years, Muhammad and his followers were able to return to Mecca. They removed the idols from the Kaaba and dedicated it to the worship of Allah alone. This was an important moment in Islamic history. Muhammad continued to teach Islam and share the words of the Quran until he died in the year 632 CE. After Muhammad's death, his followers worked hard to preserve the Quran. During his life, the Quran had not been written down as one single book. Instead, it was memorized by many of Muhammad's companions and written on different materials like palm leaves, stones, and animal skins. To make sure the Quran was not forgotten or changed, the followers of Muhammad collected all the verses and wrote them down. They organized the revelations into chapters, which are called surahs, and verses, which are called ayahs.
The Quran is compiled of 114 chapters, or what we call surah.
Now, some of these verses carried terrifying revelations about humanity's future. The Quran's terrible revelation about humanity's future. There is no doubt that the Quran's teachings have guided people in faith, family, and everyday life, but there are many stories of knowledge and warnings found in the Quran that people find mysterious, surprising, and sometimes even frightening. Over time, scholars have worked hard to understand these words, uncover hidden meanings, and explore what they might mean for the future of humanity. Some of these discoveries seem to contain revelations that are not only ancient, but also terrifying, as they speak about the future of humankind. One of the key ideas in the Quran is that humans often make mistakes and forget their purpose in life. The text repeatedly warns against greed, selfishness, and turning away from good deeds. In many verses, it is said that those who ignore kindness, justice, and honesty will create suffering in the world. These messages were true in ancient times, and they are still true today. If we look around us, we can see examples of this everywhere, from wars, poverty, and corruption to hoodlums destroying properties. Some people say that these warnings are a sign of what will happen if humanity does not improve. They believe the Quran is telling us that ignoring these values will bring terrible consequences in the future. Another part of the Quran that people find frightening is how it describes natural disasters and events that could destroy human life. In many verses, there are mentions of earthquakes, floods, storms, and other disasters that will occur as signs of the end times.
Hurricane Sandy, which led to many deaths and the destruction of property. Are hurricanes, earthquakes, and other environmental disasters acts of God?
For example, the Quran says that the earth will shake, mountains will crumble, and the seas will boil over. These descriptions paint a terrifying picture of what could happen to the planet. Some people believe that these verses are warnings about climate change and the destruction of the environment. Today, we are already seeing changes in the world's climate. Temperatures are rising, ice is melting, and extreme weather events are becoming more common. If this continues, the world could face terrible consequences, just as the Quran has warned. That's not all. The Quran also talks about the signs of the Day of Judgment as the day when the world will end and humans will be held accountable for their actions. The Quran describes this day as a time of great fear, chaos, and regret. It says that people will see the truth about their lives, and those who ignored goodness will wish they could go back and change their actions. The signs of this day include the spread of corruption, dishonesty, and injustice in society. It also talks about people becoming ungrateful, disobedient to their parents, and greedy for power. These signs can seem terrifying because they are things we can already see in the world today. This makes many people wonder if the future that the Quran warns about is closer than we think. Now, what is the main purpose behind these revelations being given, and how have they influenced humanity's choices? Keep watching to find out. How the Quran's revelations has influenced humanity's choices. The terrible revelations in the Quran are not meant to scare people for no reason. Instead, they are like a wake-up call, asking people to think about their actions and make better choices. Many of the problems mentioned in the Quran, such as greed, corruption, and destruction, are things that humans can control. If people listen to the teachings and work toward kindness, justice, and care for the earth, they can create a better future. But if people continue to ignore these warnings, the consequences may be as terrible as the Quran describes. One of the biggest ways the Quran has influenced humanity is by providing a moral code. The Quran teaches people to do good and avoid evil. It talks about honesty, kindness, charity, and fairness. For example, the Quran encourages giving to the poor and helping those in need. Many Muslims follow this teaching by donating a part of their wealth, called zakat, to help those who are less fortunate. This choice to give and care for others has led to the creation of strong communities where people feel supported. Another important way the Quran has shaped humanity is through its emphasis on justice and fairness. The Quran teaches that all people are equal, no matter their race, gender, or wealth. It says that no one is better than another except by their good actions and character. This teaching has encouraged societies to treat people fairly and to fight against injustice. For example, many Islamic leaders and scholars have worked to protect the rights of women, the poor, and minorities based on the Quran's message. It has inspired movements that aim to create balance and equality in society. Things don't end there. The Quran also influences how people find peace and purpose in life. It answers questions about why we are here, what our purpose is, and what happens after death. For many Muslims, the Quran gives them hope and direction. It teaches that life is a test and that good actions will be rewarded in the hereafter. This belief shapes the choices people make every day. They try to live good lives, be kind to others, and avoid harming anyone because they believe their actions have meaning. The Quran has also brought people together. True to its teachings, it has united people of different backgrounds, languages, and cultures under one shared belief. We've come to the end of this video. What do you think about Kaaba and its existence? Let us know in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.